Make these lovely decorative jars using an old jar, paper napkin, Mod Podge, and clear varnish. Soak the jar in warm water and then remove all of the label. Remove any remaining label with a hob or glass scraper. Dry fully. Take a napkin of your choice. Measure the napkin using the jar, ensure that it's big enough to cover all the way around the jar. Fold the napkin to the size you need it to be, then cut it to size. Trim any unwanted edges. Here I've trimmed off some of the blue outline around the edge of the napkin as I don't want it to show on my finished jar. Now take the jar and wrap the napkin around it, measure the napkin where the seam will be, so that you can cut off any remaining piece of napkin that you don't want to see on the finished jar. To remove the top layer from the napkin, wet your finger and thumb and pinch either side of the napkin until the layers come apart. Most napkins are either 2, 3, or 4 ply, that's the number of layers that make up the napkin, but we only want the top layer with the image on it. Now it's time to coat the jar in Mod Podge. Coat all of the jar with a layer of Mod Podge. You can use a sponge or a brush to do this. You can make your own Mod Podge by mixing 2 parts PVA glue with 1 part water. You don't need to coat the underneath part of the jar, you'll need that part dry to stand the jar upright later. With your napkin lying flat on the countertop, carefully align the jar with the top and bottom edges of the napkin. Place the jar on the napkin and very carefully wrap the napkin around the jar. Take care while doing this not to pull the napkin too tight, as it's delicate and will tear easily. Match the seam carefully and stand the jar upright. Do not rub the napkin just yet, we'll do that with a plastic bag in a moment. Carefully place the jar inside a plastic bag and press around the edges firmly, taking care not to move the bag over the napkin, just press on it. Gently remove the jar from the bag and stand it upright, allow it to dry for 24 hours. Once the jar has dried fully, give it another coat of Mod Podge and leave to dry for a further 24 hours. When it's dry, coat the outside with a layer of clear varnish to seal it off. You can also decorate the lid of the jar the same way, by coating it in Mod Podge and applying the part of the serviette you want on top. Here is a selection of the jars I've created. You can use them as a vase for flowers, a jar for pens, or whatever you can think of to use them for. If you would like to see how any of these other jars were made, leave a comment in the comments box and I'll gladly show you how. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to click that you liked it. Creative wisdom from the Wild Atlantic Way.